What's going on, wrestling fans? That's right, it's Sunday night. It is April 26th. That means it is time for WWE Extreme Rules, and you are here on WrestlingRumors.net for Wrestling Warm-Up. It's the preview show that we do every single Monday night before Raw and every single Sunday night before a pay-per-view right here on WrestlingRumors.net, and, of course, our YouTube page. If you're watching there, that's cool. But we'd like you to get to WrestlingRumors.net. Click on the first image you see on the site, the big image in the featured slider. Of course, we have a chat room in there. We've got people starting to come into the chat room. You can join us there, talk to us, interact with us during the show. And, of course, we have Twitter and Facebook and everything else you can talk to us at. There's a chat in YouTube, which you can also use. Get on it. Tell us what you think about what we're talking about. And, of course, let's have a good time with everybody. Of course, we're usually joined with Mr. Christopher Walter from Toronto, who's here with us. Chris, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
You can hear me! Fantastic.
Yes. Google Chrome. Damn you, Safari. You're screwing with my audio, but I'm on Chrome now. I can hear everybody. I'm glad to be here.
There you go. Finally. There we go. Okay, Alex B-Song, join us again for the first time in, what, 4 weeks?
Yeah. 4 weeks. It's about as long as I've watched Raw too, nonstop.
Oh man, that's not copacetic with anybody in this panel. Not no one. You need to start watching some Raw. Of course, John Alva's absent, of course, and we'll see if he actually shows up at some point in this evening, since he's being so slack. But hopefully he'll show up in a little bit. But we are joined by our two newest Wrestling Rumors staff members, of course, Adam and Samantha Daly. How you guys doing over there in the Pittsburgh area? What's up?
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Really excited to be here, part of this.
Heck yeah, man. And y'all got something going on after the pay-per-view, too, correct? Let people know.
Yes, we're going to have some post-pay-per-view and Raw shows. So basically, right after the pay-per-view, we'll be going live on the Wrestle Rumors Net
WrestlingRumors.net YouTube channel. Yeah, basically, we're going to do about a 10 or 15-minute wrap-up after Extreme Rules tonight, and then after Raw tomorrow night, too. But tonight, the big thing is right after Extreme Rules, so probably we'll say 11 o'clock, just to time it out, just about right. We should be able to go live.
Yeah, heck yeah, man, that's awesome. We need everybody on the site. I mean, I've seen so much love for you guys on Twitter already for signing with us, coming on with WrestlingRumors.net. We're very lucky to have you guys and glad that you're here. First and foremost, guys, I mean, the big news broke right before we went live. WWE confirmed that Daniel Bryan's done. At least for right now, he's not going to be able to compete. At least, the rumors were that we reported on, I think, as early as Monday, was that he's out for at least 5 to 6 weeks. It could be longer than that. We don't know. We don't know what the actual deal is, because someone said concussion, then they said not concussion, then they said blah, 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 blah. Is it still something stemming from the neck? Is it, what's the only thing that WWE will say about him is that he's banged up. So what do you guys, obviously he's not going to compete tonight. There is no Intercontinental title match, which I'm anxious to see if, obviously we didn't see it with Brock Lesnar, but we did see it with Daniel Bryan when he was WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Will the 30-day title reign, not defending the title for 30-day rule come back into play for Daniel Bryan yet again, because it's Daniel Bryan and it's not Brock Lesnar? Does the title get stripped off of Bryan from not competing? I want to know all you guys, like everybody's thoughts. Sam and Adam, we'll start with you guys. Does the title get stripped from him tonight or tomorrow night, or do they leave it on him? And what do we expect from Bryan here forward? I mean, I don't know what to think here.
I mean, I can definitely see them keeping it on him simply for the reason of wanting the belt on him, like they want the U.S. title on John Cena right now. But I mean, they're going to have to take it off of him soon, like bring him back just for like a quick match so they can take the title off of him, but just stripping him of it, I think would have too much consequences with the fans that I don't think WWE wants right now.
I think it's tricky because it's deja vu all over again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the same exact thing that happened last year. And in a way, I mean, the fan in me, yeah, I mean, I think that I'd like to see the belt stay on Daniel Bryan, but at the same time, I think that because it is still a mid-card title and it's not the main title, they could keep it on him, but how long is this injury going to linger? In a way, the show must go on, and no matter what kind of, they really can't get any flack for it being an injury. If it's something storyline that's written that fans don't agree with, yeah, I understand that. But if it's an injury and there really is no timetable, I mean, to go forward, I think you'd have to take the title off him somehow.
Yeah, and Hoyt in the chat room's chiming in saying that maybe we get an IC title tournament for the new champ, which we saw, of course, at the beginning of the year, or actually in the middle of the year last year, going forward. And Bad News Barrett, had won that and was supposed to defend it at the end of what was it, Payback? What pay-per-view was it last year? Money in the Bank. No, it was supposed to be Money in the Bank. He was supposed to defend the title Money in the Bank after winning it in the tournament, and then boom, shoulder injury. what the crap, tournament again, and here we go. You know, we've seen this for years. I can think back even as far as like SummerSlam '98, they did the same thing. Triple H won the IC title in the ladder match in New York City, and then boom, the next I think 2 weeks later, IC title tournament because he can't go. They take it off of him. And you know, it would be nice to see an IC tournament. It would put more added value to the belt. But guys, Walter, what do you think, man? What do you think we see here?
No, I really like the idea of an IC tournament, but not for the championship. I think you use the tournament to determine a #1 contender. That way you keep Bryan out of the picture for a while, let him rehab, you bring him back to have a match, and then do the honors. Put over whoever the #1 contender is out of that tournament, because if you look at the mid-card right now, it's just littered with guys who really have nothing to do at this point. But tonight, I'm actually surprised. I thought maybe they would have stripped him just outright, maybe put the title on the line between Neville and Bad News Barrett. But, you know, as far as Daniel Bryan's concerned, right now he just needs to focus on rehabilitation, getting himself back to 100%. I mean, like you guys said, this is the same thing that happened last year with the WWE Championship. What this does moving forward is it kills WWE's faith in Daniel Bryan, because if he loses the Intercontinental title, they're not going to be in a rush to put a title again on him very soon. If you want him to be world champion, don't count on it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what to think about that either. B-Song, what do you think, man?
Like Walter said, I wouldn't really mind if they had some sort of like #1 contender thing, but I think with Payback coming here in I think 3 weeks or something, there's a quick turnaround. I think they're going to strip the title off of him simply because they don't want to have the IC title not defended 2 pay-per-views in a row. But I just think it's funny. It seems like every year around this Extreme Rules time, someone that's getting some sort of like big push. It was Fandango 2 years ago, Ziggler right after he won the World Heavyweight Championship. They have just bad luck with injuries and the timing coming out of WrestleMania.
Now, that begs a different question. Is it a style issue? I mean, for some of these guys like Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler and Fandango especially, right there when he was getting hot with that initial push and that win over Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 29, seriously, is it a stylistic issue? Because these guys are going full force. Alberto Del Rio was right there with those guys, going as hard as possible, nailing some really risky moves. I mean, nobody flops and takes bumps like Dolph Ziggler, period. The guy is willing to do whatever to his body to make it look like it is the most amazingly awesome hold and or just straight up brawl move that is done to him. So you know, he does the Billy Gunn flip off of a lariat twice. It's not even just once. It's ridiculous. And he's willing to land on his neck and not even care. Seth Rollins is doing the same thing. We've seen an increase over the last 3 years in guys doing suicide dive over the ropes, through the ropes. I mean, these guys are putting their bodies at risk. I mean, Daniel Bryan came back from a could have been career-ending injury and didn't slow down, didn't change his style up whatsoever. I mean, came in, just landed on his neck and on the back of his head over and over and over again, and of course now he's in bad shape again. We see the same things. How many concussions has Dolph Ziggler, suffered over the last 3 years? These are your guys that you're talking about that get injured, and they're the workhorses, and that's why the fans love them so much. Do we need to see a change in style from these guys? And you got that. I mean, look at the NXT guys that everybody loves right now. The freaking Sami Zayn, I mean, the high spot of the NXT show from Wednesday night had nothing to do with Alex Riley and Kevin Owens. It had everything to do with the Sami Zayn spot at the end of the show where he cuts a flip on everybody on the outside. What do we do here? I mean, is it time for a style change? Because it seems like that high-flying style, that risk-taking style, the indie style, if you will, is what's gotten over with the WWE fans of today, but it's also putting the stars at risk. So what do we do? Do we change styles?
I think it's kind of a dangerous mix between the WWE style and the indie styles, because WWE typically has like the bigger, bulkier guys, not really into the technical matches, but just the brute force. So mixing them in with guys that are used to doing stuff technically sometimes can be dangerous if they're not used to working with each other in the ring, if they don't know how to take a certain move correctly. It's just a toss-up. I don't really think it has anything to do with the styles needed to be changed, just more of a cohesive unit of all the styles put together.
I think part of it is that if you start to really trim down people's movesets, it's already, they've taken all wrestling out of professional wrestling. I mean, it's almost basically just entertainment now.
Yep.
So if you really start trimming down all of these moves, and you're really going to start to cut out, I mean, just like how they cut the curb stomp out.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're going to have punch, kick, leg drop now.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think that in a way that they know when they have workhorses, and I think that they do utilize their workhorses, but I think they work their workhorses into the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think at times maybe maybe not necessarily a change in style, but maybe a change in schedule. These guys are going 5 nights a week. How about 4 nights a week? How about, and I get it that if you can go, you go, but at the same time, it's one of those that you have to protect your investment, as a company as much as, yourself being an entertainer. You have to protect yourself too. So.
But you also have to look at it like on a situational basis, right? I mean, Daniel Bryan is a guy who has years and years and years of mileage on him, and this is a guy who's so passionate about wrestling that he's fought through injuries on numerous occasions. And this is a guy who probably should have stayed away from the ring a lot earlier than, coming back at the Royal Rumble, getting involved, screwing over Roman Reigns' push, and then having a ladder match at WrestleMania. He should have been out a lot longer, and now he's paying the consequences for it.
Well, okay, his popularity screwed over Roman Reigns' push. He didn't. It wasn't like
he shouldn't have been there in the first place.
You, Roman Reigns. That's not what he said. It was, he just WWE put him back in that position. It wasn't him.
Yeah, but again, he shouldn't have been brought back to the ring as soon as he was.
I think too, the talent in WWE itself, they need to be a bit smarter. We saw Bryan come back. I don't know if it was too early or not, but leading up to the IC title thing, you see him and Dolph Ziggler, who also has his fair share of concussions, they're literally headbutting each other on SmackDown, on Raw, at the WrestleMania. Just be smarter. I don't think it's much of a style thing. Just Daniel Bryan should not be going out there headbutting Dolph Ziggler like he has. I think, too, on the match, they speculated he got a concussion. He was busted open. He's headbutting Dolph Ziggler for half the match. Be smarter about that. Ban something like headbutts, not a curb stomp.
Yeah, well, he got a freaking big boot to the forehead, and it was disgusting. It split his forehead open. That's what happened. Yeah. But again, that's a mixture of styles right there. You have that big brute of Sheamus, like Sam said, the big brute, giving his huge big boot to the face, and I want to sell it, make it look awesome, and hey, I actually landed it. I actually went into it really, really, really hard. I didn't snap fast enough, and boom. Forehead busted open, concussion. I still think it's probably a concussion. That gash is nasty. There's no way that there wasn't some kind of concussion from that. I'm sorry, some kind of head injury. But needless to say, Bryan's out, and now we have Bad News Barrett versus Neville, who I do love the fact that on Twitter everybody keeps continuously tweeting WWE, hey, we remember his name. And he trends on Twitter every single time he's wrestling as Adrian Neville, which is hilarious to me. With Cesaro, that didn't happen. It wasn't Antonio Cesaro over and over again because people didn't care about that. But it's Adrian Neville. Everybody's been calling him, even though it's Pac, and everybody still kind of tries to remember that he's Pac. To the casual fan, if you said Pac, who's everybody going to think about? Sean Waltman more than anything. But Barrett versus Neville. We didn't pick this because we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't do any predictions. Guys, who do you pick to go over in this match? It's a kickoff match. It's not even on the card anymore, which means one of the matches on the card is going to go a little bit longer. Who do you have going over in this match? Barrett and Neville.
I have Barrett going over. I think it's going to be a great match. But, I was excited for it whenever earlier on in the week they said Daniel Bryan might not be. I figured, yes, put Neville with it. Since we didn't get that in London, put it with the pay-per-view. It'd be great. Just move the tag match up to the main Raw instead of having that on the pre-show. There you go. Yeah,
you mentioned that earlier in the week that would be a great fit to slide Neville in if Bryan couldn't go. And in a way, I would put Neville over. It's granted it's the pre-show, but it's on a larger stage. It's at a pay-per-view. They've done it before. It's kind of become a throwaway match for Barrett at this point. And Neville, I think, has gotten more of a fan following than I think even WWE expected at this point. I wasn't the biggest Neville fan in NXT, and I love him on the main roster. It's weird how some guys translate over and some don't, but I think what they're doing with him is he's almost a Rey Mysterio-esque style, but more fans are gravitating towards him right now. So in a way, you have that lightning in a bottle, run with it. Too often they just drop it too quick. I think this would be a perfect time to put Neville over.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Yeah, everyone was so worried, especially us, that Neville would have a hard time getting over on the main roster because as soon as they put a microphone in his hand, his weakness as a talker is going to be exposed. But on WWE, they have not put a mic in his hand yet. He said very, very little. That's kind of like what I wished they would have done with Roman Reigns earlier in his push. But they're doing it with Neville. He's getting over because he's so damn fun in the ring. He's so damn unique. We've never seen a guy with his size, with his build, do the things that he does in the ring. But unfortunately, I think Barrett's going to get the win here. Neville pinned him on SmackDown. Now it's Barrett's turn for revenge.
Yeah.
With the match in the pre-show, though, I think they may put Neville over just because they tend to end those things with babyface moments with the Chicago crowd. Neville's going to be extremely over, so I could just see Neville sneak away with another win.
Also, remember Chicago's a very heel crowd.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. They're very heel.
Very smart crowd. They're going to be behind Bad News Barrett and Neville. It's going to be a toss-up here because Neville, obviously, one of the best workers in the ring. All like Walter said, always fun to watch. I could see either one happen here. If I'm going to have to pick someone, I'm going to probably pick Neville just because they're going to want to try to silence the heels. And either way, even though it's a heel crowd and they're going to be behind Barrett and Neville, if Neville gets the rub here on the pre-show, even though it is a pre-show and it's kind of a one-off, who knows if they're actually going to get a feud, that will pop the crowd and get it ready to go for the actual pay-per-view itself. If Neville gets a win over the former Intercontinental Champion, that'll be a big statement. So I'm going to say Neville. We'll see what happens there. Moving on to the main card, of course, we had, and I don't know if they're going to do 2 matches or if they're moving the tag match to the actual card. But the other kickoff match that was slated to go down on the kickoff was the WWE Tag Team Championship match, and I want to hear both of you guys' opinions, Sam and Adam. All of us picked Kidzaro to and that's what I call him, Kidzaro. So all of us picked Kidzaro to retain the titles via pinfall, and you guys went the opposite way. You went with the
New Day.
New Day.
Yeah.
Tell us why.
I did. I've been excited for New Day ever since they debuted. I know they debuted
Tell
as
us
baby,
why.
but
Only you guys.
I knew from the beginning they were going to be just so awesome as heels, and that's what they were really going for. They wanted to get that extra cheesiness. They wanted the fans to start hating them for their cheesiness just so they can turn them heel and be that cheesy heel. Like John Cena is sometimes you think he's a heel, sometimes he's a face. He's a toss-ups. But I think they're doing that with New Day, and I love it, and I think that they're actually going to push them a little bit more. So I think putting the tag titles on them right now would be a really good thing, and having them feud with Cesaro and Kid for a while.
Yeah, I think that if New Day would have came in as a heel stable, I don't know if it would have worked. And I think that if this was the plan originally, and there was some stuff, obviously the Ferguson stuff was going on when New Day, really debuted. So I think maybe they iced that if that was true or not true. But I'd rather them take this is kind of why I'm behind New Day. I like when the crowd organically turns on a faction and that turns them heel. So it's almost going to be that slow. I mean, obviously they're definitely concrete as heels right now, but to an extent, if you put the titles on them, to me, not only when the Usos come back later on down the line, you could something maybe have organically happen with them. You can have Kid and Cesaro feud for a little while. How long are we really going to see Kid and Cesaro together? Is this something that, in a couple months they split them? I just think, trying to establish a faction, it would be a title shouldn't make a stable or a person, but I think this is an opportunity to have the title really solidify New Day as a stable.
Right, and I think I totally agree. The person makes the title. There's no way that the title actually makes the person. But and I see where you're coming from completely. It literally has been just the fans organically turn. These are 3 guys, or at least 2 guys with Big E and Kofi. I mean, Xavier Woods. I used to watch him in Greenville wrestle right down the road here in South Carolina. While he was at Furman, which is in my backyard. I like the guy. I like Creed. I like the guy. He hasn't shown me much in WWE. I don't think they've given him the chance to. The gimmick itself, we know how Vince McMahon is with these kinds of gimmicks. I mean, let's just write it out as it is. If you're a midget or you're black, he's going to give you these kinds of he's going to go with this kind of humorous gimmick for you. Period. Walter, you were talking about before we went live. Naomi's still using the Funkasaurus gimmick. I mean, so he's still using the Funkasaurus music even, and there's no sense in that. She's by herself, or if she's doing anything, she's coming out with her husband whenever the Usos are out there. Why does she not have new music? It's because they don't want to give her new music because they don't really care. But then that's an issue all in itself, and that's a whole different pile of crap we can get to in a whole different show. But with the New Day, man, I honestly don't think it's going to be a couple months that Kidzaro's gone. I hope Kidzaro stays together for a very long time. It's kind of like I felt the same way with Sandow and Rhodes. I thought they were very, very complimentary to each other and had a really good tag team going, and they split them way too quick. And then they brought them back together because they were like, we split them way too quick. And then they split them again, which just goes to show creative has no idea when they have lightning in a bottle until they drop it, and then they try to bottle it back up, and you can't do that. And that's look at primetime players. There you go. Titus O'Neil and Darren Young weren't going to do anything by themselves. They're a lot more entertaining when they're together. Their little backstage promos and the video clips have been awesome over the last 3 weeks, being very, very entertaining. I just wish that we got more of that from the New Day. All we get is gotta stay positive. I'm about to get mad, but I got it smiling. And
they're positive, all about positivity. Come on, guys.
But you know they want to turn heel. That's the thing. Like it's you know they want to be heel so bad so they can actually show some of the personality behind all this instead of just being this cheesy gimmick that Vince McMahon wanted to work and it's not working. I'm a huge fan of organic heel turns too. I really think they should have run with, maybe they still will at some point with Roman Reigns being heel because the fans did it, and it should have been, okay, he was being cheesy as a face, make him a badass heel, and then he can go back to being a face when everybody loves him as a badass heel, and there you have an organic turn happen, and then we're good all the way around. That hasn't happened yet, and I don't know if it's going to happen anytime soon. I really wish that it would, but if New Day becomes the sarcastic heel faction, that's fine. Right now, it's not even like... It's that old-fashioned, I hate these guys heat. Like, not even the, oh, they're the heels, so we're going to boo them, but we kind of like them anyway. It's not even that. It's like, I think y'all are in a minority when you're like, I really like these guys.
We definitely are, and I think part of it too is, I mean, there was rumors about them bringing back the old Freebird rule with basically, so that has kind of second guessing things too. Why would that have been talked about unless they planned on putting it on a stable like that? So. That, I think in a way those are the kind of things that are leaning me towards New Day. And I'll admit, I kind of dig what they're doing, even though I know it's definitely going to be stereotypical on what, when it comes from Vince, if it comes to whether it's women, minorities, whatever, there's always a niche that you have to find, and they fit you in that. But I think that if this is done well, it could really gain a lot of from fans, and it really could work. So maybe I'm just being more optimistic about it than anything else.
I hope it turns into something, because right now it's a whole lot of nothing.
Right.
Like, I mean, honestly, with all of us, who did we really think was going to be taking on Kizarro tonight? Would everybody say the Lucha Dragons is who you thought was going to face them tonight?
Yeah.
Probably.
And look at how awesome they were straight out the chute. Walter, you're obsessed with Kalisto.
Yeah, I'm just NXT obsessed. All of these guys coming up from there, all of the smaller guys who do all of these maneuvers that you don't see the John Cenas of the world do, with all due respect, of course. That's the kind of action that I want to see. But when you look at it, like, from the grand scheme of things, the Lucha Dragons, if you put them in a title match right now, you basically have to have them win, and it's too early in their push right now to have them be the tag team champions. So I like that they're out of the title picture for now, but just to go back to the whole New Day thing, I know I said Kid Sorrow on the picks. I'm actually leaning more towards the New Day right now, especially if they move this tag match to the main card, just because if you look at Cesaro and Tyson Kidd, they're kind of like third or fourth in the tag team pecking order right now. You can make a case that the Lucha Dragons, the New Day, even the primetime players with some of their promos, they're all more over than the tag team champions right now. They're great workers, but they haven't done anything with those titles. I think the New Day can do a hell of a lot more.
They defended them at WrestleMania pretty easily, easily handed in a four corners match. With Los Luchadores and the New Day. But for me, dude, I think if you had, and I think they're saving this. I think that's why they're going to do this later. But you put Lucha Dragons with Kalisto in there with Cesaro and Kidd. That match right there alone is something that I really, really want to see. I don't want to see. I mean, even though I love Kofi Kingston, I love the Big E, and I hate the gimmick, I want to see Lucha Dragons and Kizarro because holy crap, Tyson Kidd and Cesaro have been going into the gym and making sure that their tag team maneuvers are as sound as the freaking Rockers were in the late 80s, dude. I mean, it's been awesome. I love the fact that these guys said, okay, we're going to be a tag team, then we're going to make it, we're going to actually be a tag team, and we're not just going to be two singles guys that they throw together to be a tag team for a while. We're going to literally be a tag team.
Then why don't they wear similar attire? Why don't they have, like, unique entrance music? Why don't they have a team name? This is literally just two guys teaming with each other. That's all it is.
But they're really good at teaming with each other.
They don't need a team name, because what the hell team name would they have given them?
Then wear attire or something.
The Masters of the WWE Universe. They still do this like they're the Masters of the WWE Universe. That's way too long to market. At least you can market Cesaro, Kidd. At least you can market that.
Mm-hmm. And at least we're not going back to where it was like rated RKO and they're trying to like blend all these names together and mashing up the music or what was Curtis Axel and Ryback?
Ryback,
great name.
Get out of here, Alex was obsessed with Ryback. You just said a name that made him go from 6 to midnight.
a great theme, and you know it.
Yeah, we need Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas to form a tag team. Then we'll have someone I can root for.
Dude, if that'd be the most trollerific tag team of all time. They should literally just be called Trollomania, and I would lose my mind.
Bo Dallas and Axel, oh man, WWE. I take it.
You're taking full credit. That's a stipend. You get something for that.
We talked way too long about this tag title match, by the way.
Right.
On the planet talking about this.
I needed to know why they were going with. Like, I know it could. I mean, it could happen. It's the tag titles, which mean absolutely nothing, because the division is in absolute shambles. But at the same time, I think the most legitimate tag team on the roster, outside of the Lucha Dragons, because they just got up here and they're awesome. The Ascension was the biggest flop of 2015.
It hurts.
And I would say that they're gonna go down in the history books as the biggest flop of 2015. But here we go. Like, seriously, the most credible tag team would be Kizarro, and they're the champions and they're holding on. The most popular was the Usos, and we got a guy out for 6 months. Like 6 months, dude. So you got to keep the title. Like, if for me, I'm just like, I would keep the titles on them. Now, if they wanted to turn Kizarro face and make the New Day heel, I'm totally fine with being wrong in my pick. Like, make the New Day heel, make Kizarro face, and make Kizarro chase them for the next 3 months. Totally fine with that. Get it back at SummerSlam. Totally fine with that.
Let's put a kibosh in this. Please. This took way too long.
Well, the next one, we all picked the same person, so it's not like we have a lot to talk about. It's pretty freaking obvious that Dean Ambrose is going over Luke Harper. Can we agree?
Yeah.
We all picked Dean Ambrose, okay? We're repping him, all right? There's no way that Dean Ambrose, who's lost way too many daggum matches on TV, on pay-per-view, there's no way that they're going to, especially if they're going to start this, you know, you got to find somebody else to replace Bryan in this IC title hunt, and we saw how many of these guys that are having singles matches tonight were in the IC title ladder match at WrestleMania. These guys are still in that category of future IC champions, maybe making steps and making moves up towards the main event here soon. Dean Ambrose has to go over here. Chicago street fight, it's up his alley. He can be as crazy as possible. Luke Harper's an insane cat, too. This is going to be a great match. I'm really excited about watching this match. It's probably one of the ones I'm really excited about watching tonight.
And I think this is almost a sleeper match on the card too, because I think a lot of people overlook what Luke Harper can really do in the ring. He's a hell of a lot more talented than I think people give him credit for.
Yeah,
you know?
For a big man.
Exactly. I mean, he's super talented, and I think people overlook that, and especially them two. The chemistry between them two is very organic too, because there's just something about they both throw everything to the wind. They don't. There's that reckless abandonment. They don't care, and I think for a street fight, this should be one of the matches that, like, you know, after the pay-per-view that we're probably talking about the most.
Right.
I was actually going to agree with you. He's lost way too many feuds so far leading up to this that he needs at least one win. It's that simple.
Yeah, and it's a big match. It's a Chicago street fight in Chicago. It's the pay-per-view after WrestleMania. Something's got to give. He's got to win something, and it's got to be this. It's got to be time to pull the trigger. You want to talk about a sleeper match? How about a go-to-sleep match that we're going to have? It's going to be between Roman Reigns and Big Show, and it's a last man standing match. We all picked the same person here as well for almost the same sort of reason. Roman Reigns, of course, was the guy that Vince and Triple H had handpicked to be the next WWE World Heavyweight Champion. We saw what happened thanks to fans and the insertion of Daniel Bryan again. And, of course, cheesy suffering succotash lines that Vince wrote for him. It didn't work. It did work out. We got Lex Luger version 2.0 as far as fans go. This is Lex Express again, and you know, now we have Seth Rollins as the champion, and it's not Roman Reigns. Sour Grapes maybe there. I don't know. We're gonna find out. But he's got a last man standing match with Big Show. He got freaking chokeslammed on top of a taxi cab. There's no way in hell he's losing this match. Period. How do you guys think this one goes down?
Chicago's gonna crap all over
this.
They better make it quick.
This better not go more than 10 minutes,
It
man.
can't go more. Like, honestly, it's the same thing that we got with Brock Lesnar and Big Show at Royal Rumble 2 years ago with the chairs. It has to be quick. 7 to 10 minutes max. I don't know how. No, go ahead, man. I don't know how it's gonna last.
The Chicago crowd, they're not going to put up with anything longer than 10 minutes. I agree with you. I mean, there's something that I don't think the crowd's going to be it's going to be interesting to see if they pull for Big Show in this. You know what I mean? Who gets a bigger pop? But
Yeah.
realistically, you know, so I think between the two, if they're chanting "Please retire" at Big Show or they're chanting whatever Roman Reigns, they have to wrap this up quick. And for me, the only thing I'm really interested in is the over/under on how many Superman punches we're going to see. Because I think if we set the over/under at 4, then maybe.
I said 5.
Holy crap!
We're
gonna see more
he
than
really
that.
does.
I mean, let's be honest, Walter. You and I have talked about this, and we've tried to tell everybody else that was trying to, you know, basically rub one off of Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, saying he did an awesome job. He took an awesome butt kicking. I'll give him that. But he only did Superman punches, kicks, and spears. That's it.
I mean, that's
His
the point of the
signature move.
match, though. That was the point. He wasn't supposed to get an offense.
I understand.
This is the
that.
main event
But
of
it's
WrestleMania.
the main event of WrestleMania, and he's only doing signature moves.
Oh,
Like, I understand he's supposed to
can't
get his
take
butt
him.
kicked. That's fine. We saw that. And much respect to him getting blasted in the face by knees by Brock Lesnar, because there's no way in hell that does not hurt. But at the same time, you got to do more than Superman punches.
We only see this too many times before we're tired of it. It's like.
And then
it's-
you're just stroking something at that point.
it's gonna be some dirty meme, and it's gonna get on like Pornhub or something, and then that's it. Like I
Yeah,
can't.
we're gonna tag the Brazzers logo on it, and you're done. And
Yeah, like come on, man. I'm so over Roman Reigns. The people who try and convince me that this guy is anything special are kidding themselves. It's never gonna work with me. They should have turned him heel a long time ago. I think he has a natural charisma because of his look, but I can't stand when the guy talks. I can't stand when the guy performs. The whole reason he comes through the crowd is so people will give him some sort of a reaction, because if he came down from the entrance ramp, no one would give two craps about him. Roman Reigns, Big Show.
Well, I have to agree as far as why he comes through the crowd. That got over with the Shield really quick. Notice they never even changed his freaking entrance music. He has the Shield's entrance music still. They're still trying to hold on to anything remotely poppable about the guy, because the guys were the fans got behind the Shield very quickly, and loved the music, loved the whole coming through the entrance like the Sandman. I mean, they loved that. Like they love that stuff. And now all you got is, I mean, at least fans are starting to come around a little bit. But the hardcore smart fans that watch this show are going to be probably the ones that are booing him in Chicago tonight. And I still have hope for the guy, because he is charismatic. He does have a good build. He does have a good look. He can be a big superstar if they would allow him to be himself and not be a cheesy caricature of who they want him to be. If they allowed the organic heel turn to happen and then turned him face after everybody got behind him as a badass, and he wasn't saying hardly anything. Brock Lesnar doesn't talk, and what is he? A badass, right?
Right.
If you could, what?
I said on the Wrestle Rumors account during Monday Night Raw last week when he was in the ring with Bo Dallas, my opinion, Bo Dallas is more entertaining than Roman Reigns. Literally everyone who messaged me back agreed with me. This is the guy that you're pushing as the #1 face in the company, and you can't even become more entertaining than Bo friggin' Dallas, who I love. I don't care.
Well,
but Roman Reigns, he has a
and why
long
do you love Bo Dallas?
Because he just, like, the way he talks, his whole gimmick. Roman Reigns is just, like, kind of rest in peace, like Big Boss Man. He looks like the Big Boss Man. He can't talk. There's nothing really unique about him. He's just a big guy who looks like the Samoan dude from Game of Thrones. That's it.
Yeah, he does look like Joe and I.
What's his name, like
Jason
Jason Samoa or something?
Yeah, he looks a lot more like Rob from Metallica. He looks a lot more like
Yeah, which
Rob
we
from
made fun of
Metallica.
a million times. Yeah.
Period. He's just
How
Rob's
like for change too? Is that why? I mean, I know. I always say that, like whenever he went off on whenever he was injured, he actually turned into Bane. They shot him up with a bunch of stuff. His eyes turned blue, and now he's just a monster. He didn't know about it yet.
That's what happened. I'm not sure if you knew. I'm surprised you didn't know that, actually.
And don't worry about Roman Reigns, because you're never going to get a stipulation like the main event, which we'll talk later, where they ban the Superman punch or they ban the spear.
no.
Because Roman Reigns will be just standing with his hands in his pockets like, oh, crap.
He's got a kick from the outside apron that looks awesome. That's it. Like that's all he's got. Kick, Superman punch, spear. He does a Samoan drop like half the roster does right now. Let's be honest. The shell shock is a Samoan drop for people that don't understand. The AA is a fireman's carry. I mean, these special moves are nothing special here, folks. I don't know what to tell you about it, except for half the roster's doing Samoan drops because half the roster are Samoan in some way, and or you're Ryback thinking you're Samoan. I don't know. He is.
Before you move on, Doug, I unfortunately have to get going because there's a Raptors game on right now, and it's part of my job. I know we're gonna lose, whatever, but I hope everyone out there enjoys Extreme Rules. Sam and Adam, welcome to the Bloody Team. We're so happy to have you guys here, and I'll see you guys soon.
It's Canada on
We the eliminated.
The Canadian has left the building.
There we go.
I'm not your buddy guy. Looking at the Divas Championship, we were all split here, actually. And, Alex, it looks like you picked the person that me, Sam, and Adam did not pick. So you tell me why you believe at this point in juncture it is time for Nikki Bella to keep the title for the.
Good question. I was kind of iffy on the pick. I wanted to pick Naomi. I just don't think that I think they're just gonna hold the title on Nikki Bella for now. I think it would be awesome if they put the title on Naomi and then had Paige come back for that. But I just don't see what they would do with the Bella twins just coming out if Nikki dropped the title so quickly, and then you have Paige come back to kind of feud with Naomi. I just think they'll keep it on Nikki Bella for now. Maybe towards SummerSlam you'll see Paige back in the picture. Maybe Naomi get a title run sometime there.
Adam, Sam, why did y'all go with Naomi and her big old rear view?
I went with Naomi because I think they're ready to take the title off of Nikki. Obviously, that was supposed to be AJ's job. She was going to be feuding with Paige next. That was what that whole thing was supposed to be about. But with Paige being gone, I think it's smarter to put the belt on Naomi. She's just turned heel, give her the belt, then have Paige come back, be the face, and say, you took my opportunity. That's an instant feud right there as soon as Paige comes back. That, and I kind of I've had this theory ever since Naomi turned heel.
I agree with it too. That's the way.
They turn Naomi heel, give her the title, have New Day also get the titles, then on Raw the next night. Hey, Naomi joins New Day. It's an instant feud with the Usos when the Usos come back.
To her point,
it fits so well.
She does keep making reference to they kept telling me to play nice. This. So who is they that she keeps speaking of? Is it the Usos? Is it they kept telling me to put a smile on my face? So I can kind of see where she's going with that. I'll admit the reason why I picked Naomi, and this is maybe this isn't a reason too, but I think that they were going into Chicago. If this was supposed to be with AJ Lee and Nikki Bella, I think going into Chicago, it's a no-brainer that AJ Lee takes that title. And I'll admit that I just don't have enough faith in creative to say, okay, let's come up with a new game plan.
Yeah.
So I think they just interchange Naomi with AJ, and then when Paige comes back, which in a way I agree with though, because I do think Naomi, if they let her, but I agree with you 100%. They have to get rid of the Funkadactyls music tonight. I mean, as soon as possible. Yeah. But I think that to me, her mannerisms, she has better heel mannerisms. She seems to work better as a heel. So this, in a way, it's one of those where, when an opportunity kind of just falls in your lap, even if that's not she's ready, put it on her anyway. We were complaining about that about last year might have been the time. Put it on Roman Reigns for a month. Let's see what the crowd had to say back then, and then this year would have been maybe a different story. Instead they waited for the Rumble and everything that way. So in a way, put it on her now. If you want to take it off Nikki Bella, if it was supposed to be AJ's title, whatever's going to happen, put it on Naomi, and then let Naomi see what happens with the crowd with Naomi and going forward for a couple weeks. Bring Paige back, have a triple threat, have Paige Naomi one-on-one, because they never really explained that the Bellas are they faces, are they heels? They never really explained anything with the Bella twins. We know Naomi made the turn, but I guess that makes
they've already said Nikki's being the face in this situation.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
As much as heels and faces can exist in the Divas division, as you've probably read, Kevin Eck, that used to write for WWE, recently wrote an awesome piece on Sports Blog, which was awesome, explaining how Vince and the officials presented how they viewed the Divas in the division, and that there's no faces and no heels, and that they're just a bunch of catty women that want to tear each other's eyeballs out at any given chance.
Well, then, if that's the point, then two major female heels should be able to go head to head, no problem. But they won't do it. They've never done it. They never will do it.
No, and they won't. But it does go to show that. I mean, I totally believe every single thing that he's saying there, because look at the crap where you had Nikki Bella kick her freaking sister onto the ground and say, "I wish you died in the womb," and then at the pay-per-view they're back together, and they've been together ever since as heels. It goes to show creative has no idea what they're doing with those women. None.
How much better of a build-up would it have been if Nikki Bella stayed in her heel her heel mode, whatever, instead of Brie mode, heel mode. If she would have stayed heel and she would have done some like heel promos against Naomi, the build up for this match probably would have been a whole lot better if they were both doing sort of heel-esque promos on each other. That didn't happen.
I think the time frame didn't really give this enough time to have anything happen organically anyway. You know, I mean, with AJ leaving and with everything was pressed so much. But to your point, that's exactly why I think Naomi takes the title tonight, just because they don't care about the Divas division. And I don't want to say lazy booking. I don't want to say it's creative being lazy. I just feel like it's not something that's a main focal point. So if they're just AJ left, let's put Naomi in and give her a shot. And so I think that in a way, Naomi might be taking AJ's title.
And see, I picked Naomi as well, and I went for the opposite reason of there wasn't enough time for this feud to be relevant. Again, it was a replacement deal because AJ retired. On the same level, Paige is gone for the next 3 to 4 weeks. Miz is just now left. They've got 3 to 4 weeks to shoot a movie. We have a pay-per-view in 3 weeks. Unless Paige comes back the go-home show and says that I'm the #1 contender, it's me and you, Naomi, blah blah blah, which I don't think is going to happen. You got to give Nikki Bella a rematch, and it doesn't necessarily have to happen on Raw. I think we get 2 pay-per-views out of Nikki Bella and Naomi, and then at Money in the Bank, we have Miss Paige and Naomi for the title. I think that gives Paige enough time to go do what she's doing. It gives the Bellas some time to work as faces, if that's what they're going to be, with a heel Naomi and maybe the whatever happens there.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. But at the same time, I think Naomi is a smart choice. Again, I think it's a coin flip because the division just doesn't have a lot of focus on it. But we'll see what happens. Of course, you do have the hashtag Give Divas a Chance movement going on, and they've given you a little bit more time in the matches and a commercial break. At least they've done that. But that's all they've done. Will Benson picked Nikki Bella, and Frank Manzo picked Nikki Bella. Of course, Alex Bison picked Nikki Bella, and Joe Omega picked Nikki Bella. So myself, Sam, Adam, Chris Walder, who just left, and John Alba, who hasn't been here in ages, we all picked Naomi. So we'll see what happens, man. The majority is on Naomi, the minority is on Nikki. We'll see. We'll see how that goes in about an hour and 15. We'll see what happens. Obviously, the Intercontinental title match is scrapped. We've already talked about that. So we're going to move on to the U.S. title match between John Cena and Rusev. Every single one of us picked John Cena. There's no, I mean, it's a very predictable pay-per-view. It's the blow-off. Of course, this is the time last year where we all said this is a very predictable pay-per-view, and then title change, and people just it went crazy. But John Cena, all of us picked John Cena, and I'm gonna go ahead and assume that it's because we know WWE wants that title to stay on him. The Open Challenge is adding some nice must-see matches right at the start of Raw every single week. It's not the Authority with a 20-minute opener. It's John Cena coming out, speaking for 5 minutes, and then getting a match going with somebody that is very talented and may not get a lot of time to shine. The Stardust match was awesome. Bad News Barrett match was great. Dean Ambrose match was okay. Like I think they're going to want this to keep going on. Where that leaves Rusev to go after this, I have no idea. But we all say John Cena. If you guys think of anything else, like why you believe it's John Cena, let me know.
Yeah.
No, you pretty much covered it because he's John Cena.
Yep. I mean, they have the merch for him, too, and if they do another title design, which I really hope they don't, but I think they're going to, they'll keep it on him for another month or 2.
Well, let's just say, before you get to that, Adam, let's just say it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they put it back on Rusev for John Cena, because God knows he'll as soon as he loses the title, there'll be a brand new T-shirt on him the next night, and the kids will buy all of it, and it'll be ridiculous merch money for the company, all left and right, and it'll be some color that we hadn't seen in a while, maybe orange, burnt orange this time. I don't know what's going to happen, but Adam.
I think the biggest thing with Cena retaining tonight and probably holding on to this for a long time, it's twofold. One, now with Daniel Bryan's injury status, the idea was to establish the 2 mid-card titles as legitimate, significant titles again. So with Daniel Bryan's health really up in the air, you have to keep that title on John Cena. And then on the flip side of it, I can't really remember the last time John Cena's been this entertaining. to be quite honest with you.
Right.
I mean, it's his segments are, you hit the nail on the head. They become can't miss segments because we never know who's coming out, and there's always that smoke and mirrors of what if it's a debut. You know, there was the big rumors. What if it was Finn Balor? You know, over an what if it was this person? What if it's that? So every week it's that guessing game. This has been the most interesting and exciting that I think Cena has been in a long time. Don't drop, you know, they can't let that go. Plus, again, with Bryan's health being the way it is, I think they have to keep the title on Cena.
Yeah, I think all of us are in agreement there. Cena needs to stay the champion, and this segment has to continue. It's one of the things that is making Raw enjoyable on Monday nights for the first time in a long time. I've been looking forward to it every single Monday night. Moving on to the Kiss Me Arse match, which is an Extreme Rule if I've ever heard one.
Back to the Attitude days.
Kiss Me Arse match. Dolph Ziggler versus Sheamus. God, I think there's one person that picked Dolph Ziggler, and it's the guy that always picks the wrong guy. Will Benson over in the UK picks Dolph Ziggler. I mean, I don't know how you bring a heel back that's supposed to be a monster that's taken down all of our favorite workhorses and underdogs, and you stick him in a match with you know who's going to make it look awesome. It's the show off. There's no way that this new big heel is going to come in and get beat in his first pay-per-view match back. It's just simple wrestling science. There's no way that Sheamus loses here. If anybody else has anything else to say, I don't know what else to say except for bro kick, knocked out Dolph Ziggler's getting his face shoved into Sheamus's white transparent butt. That's just what's gonna happen.
I mean, I think the fact that it's called a Kiss My Arse match instead of ass match, just plain ass match, I think that's a big giant clue that Sheamus is pulling out a win here.
Yeah, I mean, the only way I think
pulling out what? Easy.
What?
Yeah.
Easy. He's pulling out what?
All the stops.
All
Be
the
careful.
stop.
Oh.
Say
All the
something?
stops. Yeah, no. Jeez.
Oh.
Yeah, you thought you said something different. You're good.
Oh.
You're good.
I knew he was pulling his pants down. I didn't know what you were saying there.
For me, I think that the only way it could go opposite is that if Ziggler gets some kind of sneak win, and then Sheamus just pummels him after the match and still gets him to kiss his ass. But in the end, you know, because then I can see him grabbing the microphone. Oh, you thought you won the match, did you, fella? And he keep kicking him, doing whatever he wants to do. But that's the only way I can really see I don't think Ziggler goes over in any fashion tonight.
Yeah.
You know, so Sheamus goes over one way or the other. But I think he wins the match.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see them doing it just because it would be so embarrassing for a new heel to come back and then kiss someone's ass. So asinine that they would actually do that, but I really hope they do not.
Oh, but how much? I mean, just how much legitimate? Like, if this guy's supposed to be the big bad bomber that's coming in to take out all of our underdogs, and he gets beat first thing and has to kiss Dolph Ziggler's ass, like, Sheamus is back to being a waste.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, these are if he loses tonight, that leads back to even before WrestleMania, like leading in from 2 months ahead all the way till now. It's just dropping the ball. So yeah, Ziggler or Sheamus has to win.
Sheamus has to go over. I think the only other match that we had issues with, and again, it was you guys that picked somebody different than the rest of us, was the main event, man. And you didn't even say via pinfall or via cage escape or anything like that, so I'm going to let you guys tell us what you think here. But for the main event, which is the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match, it's a cage match. The RKO is banned, at least as far as Randy Orton using it. That wasn't really specified if Seth Rollins, who's been doing the move at house shows for the last month. They didn't specify if Seth Rollins could use the RKO or not, and now he can't use the curb stomp, so let's see what happens there. I'll just throw that out. We got a cage match. Seth Rollins, who is the new champ, cannot lose the title. He can lose the match, but in a cage match, there's no disqualification, so I don't know how he loses the match and keeps the title.
That's actually what I said in my prediction was Randy Orton won, but by DQ. But there's no DQ in this match. So that doesn't even make sense. But
let me ask you a question. Did you guys see the commercial for Payback next month that they leaked out by accident?
Yeah, the triple threat one.
Yeah, where it seems like basically there's a triple threat match.
Right.
I feel like somehow Roman Reigns gets involved to kind of screw over Seth Rollins because Rollins screws. So this is where I think, in a way, I know I said Randy Orton to win, and I hate saying this, I think we're about to see another vacancy. I think that we might go into this where you screwed me. Okay, now I'm coming back. And I thought they would push this off until SummerSlam. At least I thought that would be the smarter bet. Even if you gave Roman Reigns Money in the Bank and had him cash in and basically do the same thing that he did to Seth Rollins did to him.
But why would there be a vacancy?
Because technically, if Roman Reigns gets involved, the authority, in theory, could come down and say, yes, you won the match, yes, you won the championship, but because Roman Reigns interfered, we're stripping the title from you.
That doesn't even make any sense.
It doesn't, but they've done it before. They've done it before, though. They've done it with Daniel Bryan like 85 times.
Well,
True.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm thinking.
I just have a feeling that Randy Orton's going to win it, but somehow not really win it, where Seth Rollins still keeps the title.
Yeah.
However that plays out, but...
The title should stay on Rollins. I mean, it absolutely should.
Well, we saw Kane as a focal point Monday. He's the gatekeeper, which makes him Zool. We'll see who...
I was going to say that makes Seth Rollins the key master.
Yeah, we got to figure out who the keymaster is. Let's send Harvey Whoopperman in or somebody with glasses, see what happens. But you've got the gatekeeper who's going to play some kind of role tonight, whether that's aiding Seth Rollins or screwing Seth Rollins. But for me, I don't think there's any way he loses the title tonight. And I don't know. And other than the authority saying Orton wins the match, but because Kane helped Orton, we're giving the belt back to Rollins.
Yeah.
I don't see how Orton wins and Rollins keeps the title outside of
It's going to be
Rollins.
some sort of group finish.
To your point, though, if Seth Rollins hits the RKO but calls it a diamond cutter, technically that would be a disqualification because the RKO is banned, right? So, I mean, it's
Correct.
even if he's saying it's a diamond cutter, but wouldn't that, I mean, in theory, obviously, that could disqualify Rollins if he was using that move, right?
But he doesn't lose the title.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Boom. That's how you get Orton to win via DQ.
Point.
There's your points.
Right.
If you do, which I know he's been doing the RKO at live events for literally a month.
Absolutely.
So if that could be the case, that could be what happens. Kane calls the match because Seth Rollins uses an RKO, and he disqualifies him, but he keeps the title. And maybe that's what pisses Randy Orton off, and Randy Orton and Roman Reigns, argue about who's the number one contender for the next 3 weeks, and you get a triple threat match.
Right. Sam, anything else you got?
No, I think that pretty much covers it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else there is to talk about outside of the fact that the kickoff show for Extreme Rules starts in 5 minutes on the WWE Network. You can always follow along with us at WrestleRumors. That's our main Twitter account. All of us have Twitter accounts. You can follow Alex Bsong at GlassModeALB. Guys, you want to tell us your Twitter handles so everybody can follow along?
I'm at LadyNexus13.
Mine's at AdamDaily13.
Yeah, and of course I'm at Doug O'Mac or at WrestleRumors, and of course Chris Walters at Walters Sports. John Alba is at John Alba SFC. Of course, guys like Will Benson's at the real WB, and Frank Manzo's at FManzo3. Joe Omega's at Joe Omega, and of course they'll be doing their Wrestle Reaction show on WrestleReaction.net immediately after the pay-per-view. But we've got a brand new show immediately after the pay-per-view here. You can watch and then move over there to our good friends over there. But you guys are going to go on immediately after the pay-per-view?
Yeah, we'll go on immediately right after. So basically, and we'll touch base with you and get everything set up. But yeah, we're going to go on right after, probably about 10 to 15 minutes, just quick wrap-up. Probably grab about 5 points from the pay-per-view and we'll talk about. And basically, it'll be my job to kind of be the voice of reason between her little fandom, reel her back in sometimes a little bit. But I think that's where we're going with that.
I like it, guys. This is the new Wrestling Rumors. This is the new Wrestling Warm-Up format. This is how it's going to be. Of course, we do these before Raw every single Monday if we can. Obviously, we haven't done it in the last 3 weeks. Stuff has been going on. We've got a lot of busy schedules. But there will be some pre-Raw stuff. There will be post-Raw stuff from all these people involved that you saw tonight. And, of course, before every pay-per-view and after every pay-per-view, right now, WrestlingRumors.net, where you can get all the latest news, rumors, and opinions. Always make sure you come back. Thanks for watching. We had a great turnout. Love you guys, and we will catch you on the next one. Enjoy us. Live tweet along with us at WrestleRumors. Peace.
Sure.